We're gonna have a conversation. Carly's awesome and did so much like thinking and preparation, and there's so much stuff I almost got overwhelmed. You're kind of like human AI. And
I did share a doc. I shared a doc.
There's a few themes I guess I just wanted to, I like taking steps back. One, so I really like what Shingy said about something, to paraphrase, like vulnerability or reinvention. And I think that's a really big theme for me and where I'm at. You know, again, I'm 41, I'm not in my 20s, but whatever, you know, age is just a number. I think it's a mindset. And so I went to NYU Tisch for photography, ended up dropping out, art school dropout. But first semester, you know, I'm working in photo stores and I'm developing paper, you know, printing in dark rooms, and you know, I'm a broke college kid and I gotta save up. It's expensive. Paper costs a lot of money. The film costs a lot of money. Developing, everything costs money. And I'm working at K&M Camera. And my second semester, I come back and AGFA and Ilford declared bankruptcy. You know, and so they weren't shipping the film canisters and stuff that they were making. I was like, what's going on? And there was a thing at college called a digital darkroom. And I'm broke, and you know, I like, it's just costing me so much money just to fucking print paper for college while also trying to just go to college and live in the city. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. I didn't own a computer till college. I didn't own a phone, anything, you know. Elizabeth would like it. I was kind of Luddite style, you know, and then I was like, let me try it out. And lo and behold, I was like, this is great, this is free, this is so interesting. And it opened this whole new world. But it, like what you were kind of saying of, you know, 640, 480 pixels, it sucked. All the digital photography sucked. All the printing sucked. Everything sucked. And I was just like, that's okay, you know? And I think two parts today, AI slop, AI slop, AI slop. It's like, that is okay player lo-fi now. Because I think a lot of AI stuff, I was saying to Carly, like, what is AI? Everyone just says AI, AI, AI. What the fuck is AI, right? You just say it. It's not like Adobe AI. It is kind of weird to put in words what it is, but one, it's artificial intelligence. That's what it means. So it's fake, quote unquote, it's synthetic, and it's imitating and mirroring the collective intelligence of humans, right? So it aggregates what people consider the way to order food at a restaurant, or how to fill out a legal paper, or how to design something. So the summation of what is an aggregate of what people think, it's taking that as training data, and it's inferring what you kind of want, and then it's presenting what it thinks is acceptable within Overton kind of windows. And I think if you're Elizabeth, why it may not be good, because it's imitation, because it's not good, but that's okay because it's early and it's great artists steal, right? So it's like, if you don't know how to do something, monkey see, monkey do, like you just copy. And to me, I'm like, yo, AI, that's all right, copy, copy, copy. But you gotta know how to work and navigate something that's gonna present to you on first hit some mid shit. And that's okay, because that's where it's starting. And that's where, for digital photography, for me, was the same. And I got to get it to a place where I'm like, oh, I can do more. That got me into computing and coding and design, because it was digital, versus if I had just stayed and I'm doing silver gelatin, you know, prints, maybe cool, I could be a documentary photographer, but I wanted to explore the whole new world. So I'll pause there. What do you think, Carly?
I love it. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. I think what I love about your story and this moment, which is true for all of us right now, is that we've been here before. You know, when you were in that dark room and when you started playing around with like new digital tools, you saw that there was this opportunity. I'd be curious, what about this moment feels different than that moment?
Yeah, like I didn't really care about history growing up. Like, I don't care, they're dead. But as I get like older, I'm more like, damn, what did people do back in the day? Like, I'm reading a book on how the Brooklyn Bridge was built, and it's so boring, but my friend read it and Double Dog dared me, so I'm like, fucking, I'm audiobooks through the thing at 1.5 speed. But it's kind of interesting because it's like the 1860s, 1870s, and I'm out there looking at it right now. It was like the biggest structure in the world, and everyone's like, this can't be done, there's no way in hell. And they're like, we're gonna do it. We've got this crazy new technology. It's called steel. And they're like, fuck that, no way, aluminum or bust, and like, it's gotta be iron, like you can't do it, suspension's crazy, and so it's like, how are they dealing with the problems, and how did news go out, or like, Boss Tweed and Tammany Hall, they're coming in, they want to get what they gotta pay them. It's like, ooh, like Brooklyn, like, oh, they think they're so like pure, which is weird. Brooklyn was the pure versus dirty Manhattan. So history doesn't rhyme, or it doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, right? And so I'm kind of like, you can go back to Mesopotamia, you can go back to the first, revolution for steam, spinning jennies. Everyone's been stressing whenever they're alive about whatever the hell is going on with politics, with power, with religion, with technology. I think what is different is it just keeps going faster and faster. Yeah. And the last thing I'd say on that is that, like, I think humans are interesting because someone said once, we're both bees and we're both spiders. And bees and ants are collective. Oh, there's a hive. Like if you take an ant away from its colony, it'll just die mad fast because it needs to be part of the social collective. But spiders are like, yo, chill, get out of here. I'm a spider. Like, other spider, go away. Like, this is my spider zone. And humans are kind of both. So in society, I think we need to be individuals, and we need to also understand there's a societal collective we're a part of. And to be an individual means to fight for what's right, to do for what you think is right, to have a compass, to have ethics, individual to you, but know that you're also a part of something. And so I think the speed at which we have to process what's going on right now, biologically, we're still the same as we were in the 1800s or in Mesopotamia times. So that part, I think, is way harder. And I'll pause there.
Yeah. 100% agree. I feel like I started this newsletter like a year ago, and part of it was that. It was just I felt like I was consuming so much. I was just like, I was on Twitter, just doom scrolling, joy scrolling, whatever you want to call it. I was like online all day, every day, just like gobbling up the slop. I love the slop. And I was like, I need a filter. I need some sort of critical way to see what I'm seeing online and just what does it mean? What is happening here? How can I be processing it? And so I started writing. And that has actually been such a great way of understanding what's going on, identifying patterns, and looking at this moment. And I think when you say, how do we want to show up? What does it mean to be a spider or a bee? I think something that I've been writing a lot about is junior designers, and kind of what does that mean for junior designers? We kind of have this moment right now where we're automating all these different parts of design, and a lot of it is the stuff that a lot of those designers used to cut their teeth at, and kind of like the entry point, like how you like wedged your foot in the door to like try to get into an industry. And when you say like, what does this mean as like a community? It means like, how are we creating those opportunities and how are we bringing those people in? Which is also something that you've been thinking a lot about. You can pick up the
Thanks,
mic.
Carly. And so again, what's your Substack so people know?
Carly.substack.com.
And that's C-A-R-L-Y.
Oh, that's good. Thanks, Emmet. I appreciate that.
Whenever you drop something, I stop what I'm doing and read it. And I find you have like a good optimistic skepticism or something where, you're like, okay, let's hear this out. Yeah. But I'm going to be positive of where I think things are going. But, you and Elizabeth and others do good research, and I like all the links and stuff, which are kind of fun. I mean, like, I don't know why, but I was thinking of the early 2000s Nelly song Country Grammar, where he calls out Bill Gates and Donald Trump to let him in, and, it's weird where those people to be let in have ended up kind of going or becoming. And thinking about like, coming up in whatever game you're in or trying to do, know, and I remember in the early 2000s, in New York City, I didn't know anyone, and I would go on Craigslist and write to all these jobs and go knock on doors, and everyone just be like, "Get lost, kid," and it's just kind of a law of averages. Somewhere it worked out at some point. Maybe my 75th kind of try to get something somewhere, and then I did a thing called Gin Lane and got really good at it after 12 years, and then we went to do a business called Pattern. And then I was like, man, I'm getting so far into e-com stuff, I kind of miss what I love, which is branding and building products. I want to go do that. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go try to reinvent myself because I saw AI stuff as disruptive, you know? And I'm like, kind of, you know, learning, you know, 3D rendering while paying rent style. Like, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it would have been better if I knew all this back in the day, but fuck it, like, this is pretty interesting, pretty compelling. I don't want to FOMO, get left behind. Yeah. I want to figure it out. And I think my hunch was everyone else is figuring it out. And so I kind of still think like the best and the brightest in the world, there's this engineer research at Tech Bros podcast will make a little card that traded, you know, like Meta just pulled them in for $2 bazillion. Like, anyone in here is not even that far away. Whereas if it was like tennis, it's like Carlos Alcaraz or something, you know, it'd be like, I'm far away. Like, that guy is pretty freaking good. Like, it's like, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I'm like, I could still play basketball, you know, and then I got knee injury and I'm like, I still can't play basketball. But for AI stuff, it is flat. It is weirdly flat. Anyone in here is probably really good and kind of in the know of what's going on. And that made me being 40, being like, I got a shot. And if I can set a new agency up and I can learn this, like, I think I can get other tribal people that are my age group, 35 to 45, that are kind of like, damn, I'm stuck. Maybe I could get unstuck. And then I think we could get some young bucks that know the technology. It'd be like, I want to roll with some wise people to protect me because I've never been through booms and busts and everything falling apart. So I think on the junior side, like, I think as Shingi was saying, when it went from like manual and Pantone and chips and design into digital, and a lot of people did lose their jobs, like, that's true, like printing press and all that, like, it's not to techno-utopian wash over the pain on an individual level and the shift on a societal level when big change happens. I think if you can stay calm and adapt, which I think all living things are relatively good at, like, you'll be okay. And so we put a post on top of your post, which was like, yo, if you're a junior designer or you're an intern, we'll hire you all. Like, we need all the work because we're doing so much AI stuff that there's so much production work that's needed. We need so much inputting. We need so much curation. We need so much editing and tweaking. And you can't have AI at the level that we're at, edit and curate and recalibrate the curation of quote unquote good taste, which is shortened to taste, for AI. So you need still humans for doing that. And in your article, there is the lady who's a teacher at RISD. She's like, I've got all these students. What's her name again?
Colleen Zhang.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she's got all these students and they're like, I'm running out of, tokens because I'm doing so much Claude 3, 4, 5 stuff. I can't get a job. I'm like, hit me up. That's crazy. Like, I'm working with like 35, 40-year-old designers that don't know how to do any of this. Yeah. So I think they'll be good. It just feels right. And I was like, they're not getting hired because they're not talented. They're not getting hired because the people doing the hiring are scared and dumb.
I do feel like it's like, you reach this point where you're like, here we go again. Like, I'm gonna have to go learn a new tool. I have to go learn this new space. You like start to see the patterns and the writing on the wall, and you're like, all right, like, let's go. Sometimes I don't even know how to get started. I feel like it's good to have a project. It's good to have a few pieces. I feel like you are someone who is just so curious that every time something pops up, you're like, that seems interesting. How do you know like what to go after, and how do you start dipping your toe into those spaces?
I think, like, we all have ego, and ego is so dangerous, but it, like, is also really important, you know? Like, I don't know, I don't think I'm probably better than anyone in this room. I just am more annoying, maybe. Like, like Carly has a thing called AI Residency, and I'm like, fuck, man, like, what the hell? I want to be a part of this. Like, that's crazy. They're doing all this cool, like, digital, like, AI, we're having talks, and I'm like, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me in style. I'm like, yo, Sophie, her friend, put me in contact with Carly. Like, if there's AI talks going down in New York City, I want in, and took me a lot of tries. And then, Ari and stuff, it's the same thing. I'm just really annoying, so, but part of that is like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about, at this stage, I don't care about rejection. I don't care about perception. I'm just like, whatever. And a positive of that, I think, is being curious. And it's to not be scared or to take things too serious. we all feel it. We all have vulnerability. We all can feel stuck. We all can feel this is better. You go on social media, this person's prettier, this person's richer, whatever, right? Like that's kind of the part that's tough about the current internet landscape where algorithmically things go up that are either controversial or extreme in one way or the other. So I just try to stay in my little myopic bubble of like children's book curiosity, and that makes technology and tools to me fun. And I think my taste, whether it's good or not, like, I don't know, I don't care, but to me, it is my point of view, which is something I think when you were interviewing Forrest Young, he said, you can replicate and copy just what AI does, taste. It could be like, oh, you have a certain taste, I'm just gonna ingest that so I can mirror your taste. So then I'm zigging, then you gotta zag. But the zag to the zig is your point of view. So I think you can develop a point of view by just constantly asking questions, constantly exploring. And I love like Kaizen and a lot of like Japanese phrases and stuff and concepts around like, you know, they mainstream it to like Jiro dreams of sushi, or, you know, I talked about this in the little article I wrote on like a new tomorrow today, like Lexus, the relentless pursuit of perfection. There is no perfection. The whole process, the whole part is the process is chasing perfection. It's chasing the perfect sushi cut. It's chasing making the perfect Lexus or Toyota. It doesn't exist. Yeah. You know, you have to embrace the process of waking up every day and trying to be curious, trying to be your best, knowing that you'll never attain it. And the second you realize that, it's so liberating.
Set yourself free. Never let them know your next move.
Like the wise Nelly Furtado once said, you know, fly like a bird. What do you think, Carly, as you take a step back and you think about, I would say, the here and now of what the hell are we doing at WSA for AIR, cool B2B, you know, software company with all these people in the room talking about AI? Why does it matter, or what could someone take away from today?
What is the ascension? Where are we going? What are we ascending to? I think, to me, that's the question. It's like, okay, great. You have all these tools. You know, use them. How do you want to use them? How do you want to apply them? Do you want to extend your skills? Do you want to, I think most importantly, you have to learn what they are. To your point, what even is AI? And then decide, okay, like maybe there's parts of this I can take, parts of these things that are useful. Maybe these things are useful for my practice. Maybe generative AI is like a space I don't want to touch for my own reasons. But if you're going to ascend, where are we ascending to? What's kind of the next iteration of our practice? And how do you want to do anything? How do you want to make things? How do you want to show up? I feel like we are given this like very limited amount of time to create things and to make things and to have some sort of small impact on your community, on your own world. What do you want that to be? And hopefully through talking to people and thinking about how you want to apply these technologies or not, you can get there. You can kind of figure out. You have more access than ever before to make something new. But you can't make something new with these technologies. You have to be the piece that's coming up with like, what is the kernel of the idea, the first 15%, the last 15%, and then extend it using something like this.
Okay, I'll say one last thing. In my Brooklyn Bridge book, you know the like legend of John Henry, you know, and he was like working faster than the machines to build like the railroads. Well, I think John Henry was actually like a real guy and literally died in like Virginia in 1870 because he was like the best like guy building, like chipping away and laying the railroad stuff down, and the machine ended up beating him because he was trying to beat it, and he beat it, but he died. And so I think when it's like man versus machine is where we get into kind of problems. And I think it's when it's quote unquote man with machine or man, woman, person with technology, with software, like I think souls and consciousness is what everyone is an individual and has unique to them. And using tools per whatever way you like, it hopefully can just raise your ability to think. You know, it's like what I was saying back in the day, it's like all the ways that I made money as a kid into my early 20s were with my hands. no one cared about my brain. It was like, go do manual labor.
Yeah.
Go do all this, go work in a store, go deliver tiles, go stock stuff in a deli. I need your hands. And I'm like, I got a brain. They're like, I don't care, kid. You know, and I think most of the people in this room, we have hands, but we're paid with our brain. And that's kind of like knowledge, white collar, pretty cool. And I think if you can continue to elevate what your brain is and what it stands for and how it thinks, whether you use this generative technology, whether you use this for, you know, thought or whatever, that's the goal. That's the goal, is to, and creativity is just a byproduct of thinking and your brain. So I would just try to encourage everyone to look into your brain of what makes your point of view special and be curious and explore tools and technology. AI you can't download it. It's in everything. It's in everything. So why are we fighting it? Like,
it has been.
Fight to make it for good for you as an individual and fight to make it good collectively, but it's just a part of the fabric of everything we do.